This is what my physique looked like about 5 years ago. This is what it looks like more recently. While I'm certainly not at the highest level I want to be, I have made a lot of progress from where I was. I've made a lot of mistakes too. I've made way too many mistakes, and I've learned some lessons of what does and doesn't work. And I want to teach you some of this information because I know a lot of skinny guys want to build more muscle, want to build that an aesthetic physique. And I just want to help you shortcut the time to actually get to where you want to be. This is just based on my personal experience and just what I've noticed works for me and what doesn't work for me. First off, what is an aesthetic physique? An aesthetic physique, it's basically just a physique that gets you the most amount of attraction from women. There's like scientific studies or whatever about it. But basically, if you have broader shoulders and then as it goes to the waistline, it gets slimmer. That's kind of like the Dorito shape that a lot of women are looking after. It's supposed to get you the most attraction essentially. And the reason this is important to point out is because you can build a lot of muscle, but if you're not in proportions, it just looks a little bit strange. I'm sure you've seen some guys who are very muscular, but not necessarily attractive. You could build a lot of muscle and be intimidating maybe, but that wasn't what I was trying to go for. I was just trying to look as sexy as I possibly could. A lot of fitness advice out there is tailored towards obese people, and what a lot of skinny guys just don't take the time to think of because they're kind of brain dead, and I was brain dead too, so I'm not judging you. We don't realize that the main thing we need to do if we want to build more muscle, put on that size, is we just have to eat more. 80% of the progress that you make is going to be your diet, and this is why I believe it's taken so long for me to build muscle, because I was only focused on the working out part. I was like, okay, I'm going to do push-ups, pull-ups, lift these small weights. I even started going to the gym, really pushing hard, gaining a lot of strength, and I would become toned, but I wasn't building the amount of muscle that I wanted to actually get bigger muscles essentially. So as a skinny guy, you need to focus on getting 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is what's going to maintain your muscle and allow you to build more muscle, because protein is literally the building block of your muscles. If you don't have protein, you're not going to build muscle. That's just pretty much how it is. And at the same time, make sure you're at a calorie surplus. This means eating more food consistently. The easiest way to actually implement this is to download this free app. It's called MyFitnessPal. You just enter your information. It tells you how many calories you need to eat, what you need to shoot for pretty much every single day or week. And your goal is to eat that amount of calories that it tells you to, or maybe even more if you're trying to go faster, and eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you just do this, and you kind of be sloppy on the workout side, honestly. If you just get this part right, you're going to make so much more progress than I did in the beginning stages, because again, I just wasn't focused so much on my diet because it was underemphasized. And once you get your diet down, and while you're getting this right, you still need to be doing workouts. While I emphasize the importance of your diet, if you just keep eating more, you're going to gain some mass, but you're not necessarily going to build as much muscle. You need to be working out consistently. You can do it 3 to 5 days out of the week. Just come up with some simple thing for yourself, whether you're going to the gym, just have some simple workout routine that focuses on getting the right aesthetic muscles. One of the biggest bottlenecks for a lot of guys is getting their shoulders to be thicker. It's on the lateral side. If you have thicker shoulders, that's going to do probably the most for you aesthetically, but also getting things like your upper chest, hitting your abs, hitting your arms, just whatever that aesthetic physique or dream body that you're trying to go through or trying to get to. You can literally just take a picture of yourself and analyze, okay, what do I need to change? Okay, maybe I need to get a little bit broader shoulders. Maybe I need to work on my chest a little bit more so I can kind of fit this mold of whatever body shape I'm trying to get. I hope that makes sense. So when I did this for myself, I realized, okay, my arms are pretty big. I don't need to focus on them as much as I do my shoulders, as my upper chest, and, getting my neck thicker and all that stuff. You'll start to realize, okay, what are the things that are actually holding me back from fitting the mold that I'm trying to get? I doubt that this is going to be a serious bottleneck for most of the guys watching this, but it's worth saying for its own sake. You need to be getting sleep and getting sleep consistently, basically having this rest time, because when it comes to building muscle, it's not just about doing those workouts and pushing those weights, because you can put in a lot of energy and like exert yourself a lot. But what will happen if you're not getting enough rest and allowing your body to regenerate and repair itself? You're going to get at a standstill because you're just not giving yourself enough time to recover. Like when you're actually doing these workouts, when you're pushing these weights, you're creating these micro tears in your muscle. You need to give your body time to fill in those muscles and like repair it so that you can grow back stronger. And a lot of the quality of most guys' sleep is pretty terrible. There's like this sleep app that you can use to like measure how good quality of sleep you're getting. I deleted it because it was just creating too much stress for me. But honestly, I should probably, I don't know, probably get back into it. But anyways, just having habits like, okay, don't be scrolling or watching media before sleep. Like create these or add these filters on your phone. So like if you do have it on, like having a blue light filter and whatnot, it won't keep you up as long because, the blue light, it disrupts your sleep or whatever. Doing things like not drinking too much liquid, because at least for me, I know if I do that, I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night to have to go take a piss, or eating food way too close to the time I'm going to go to bed. I've noticed when I do that, it keeps me up too long. Just figuring out ways that you can go to sleep consistently at the same time every single day and avoid disrupting the quality of your sleep. That's really going to help you. And the last thing I want to mention, which may not really be relevant to you, but it's something to be aware of just in the future once you're on this journey. At least for what happened to me, there was this period of time where I was bulking. I was really going hard on getting the calories, getting the protein. I was working out consistently and like maximizing the amount of sleep that I was doing. And I was gaining weight. I was gaining muscle, gaining fat too. Like, as you're bulking, as you're eating more, you're going to get a little bit chubbier, like in the face and, everywhere else, but you're still getting more muscular. So it was worth the trade-off temporarily, if that makes sense. And what I did, I wasn't trying to do it intentionally, but just like moving around, I was eating a little bit less food. So I was on a calorie deficit and basically just cutting. Once you build a certain amount of muscle and then you cut down, you comparatively to where you were before, you look absolutely sick. Literally the most attractive physiques are going to be the ones that are more lean down. You can have a lot more muscle than somebody else, but if you're just lean, I mean, it just like shows off all the definition and it just like seems to get the best results, right? It's a trap for a lot of people because they get stuck there. They're like, oh my gosh, I've never been this lean. I've never looked this tone or whatever and been like a little bit muscular, and they want to stay there. And if you want to stay there, that's completely fine. At least from my understandings, there's a certain, like for whatever height you are, there's a certain body weight that if you get to, like for me, I'm 6'1". So the ideal body weight for me to be at is like 185 pounds lean or like 190 pounds lean. I'm only like 165 pounds when I'm lean. So I need to build like 15 more pounds of muscle, right? Because that's when I'll be the most aesthetic. That's where I can reach my peak essentially. But anyways, like I mentioned, if you're so stuck on being lean and you just want to stay there because this is where you start to get a lot of validation, it feels nice, but it kind of traps you. It stops you from getting to a higher level. So I guess I'm just saying one thing I wish I would have done was, instead of cutting, just continue the bulk until I got to that higher level, because it's very tempting to want to stay where you are once you get lean, once you get aesthetic. This is, why a lot of like looks vaccine guys, especially, they're still kind of slim. I mean, they look good at the same time. Like they get results with women. I just want to get to the highest level I possibly can. Anyways, hope you got some value from this video. Leave a like if you got value or something. Peace out.